Hey, hey, hey. Time for another Out of This World story from rSpace. Today on rSpace, we meet some particularly rancid mean girls. On Wednesdays, they like to steal boyfriends and cheat on their partners for free tickets to conventions. We aren't interested in sitting at the same table as these ones. Up first, a cheater and a friend who's definitely more than just a friend. The guy she tells you not to worry about. I, 32, abandoned my girlfriend, 27, in the city after she repeatedly broke my trust. Counting this relationship, my last 3 relationships have ended in me being cheated on. We have been together 8 months and had been planning a trip to a convention together. Shortly before the trip, she excitedly told me that she made a new friend who was giving us free tickets to the convention. Then things kept snowballing from there. She admitted to having flirted with this guy by accident and asked me if she should feel bad. I asked her if he knew she had a boyfriend, and her response was, "No, it felt weird to bring up, and I've learned people are less likely to give you free stuff if you tell them you're in a relationship already." I told her this made me feel uncomfortable, and I don't think it was outrageous of me to ask her to be careful with her actions and words around this guy. She knew I had been cheated on previously, and it had destroyed my mental health. She had told me that she had cheated in a previous relationship when she was young and in a bad place, but that she wasn't like that anymore. She seemed to understand my reservations about this guy, and she couldn't help laying out in front of me. At the time, I hoped it was just her being transparent. So we finally get to the day of the convention, and she makes a beeline to her new friend and spends 90% of her time by his side. I see whispering together, and shoulder rubs and giggling, and all kinds of things to make me uncomfortable. But I keep it to myself until we're alone. At one point, I tried to go hold her hand, something we like to do often, and she pushed it away and said, "Not right now, I'm stressed," while going on to continue laughing in conversation with this other guy. At the end of the day, we're alone and I say, "Look, I really don't like how I'm being ignored for this guy you just met. I feel like you're crossing boundaries here that hurt me a lot, and I just want to reassert that this hurts me and give you a chance to stop. I don't like this guy, and I don't like the extra attention you're giving him." Her responses were, "I'm not cheating on you. You can be his friend too. Just try to talk more to him." And, "I feel like you're targeting how I'm treating a friend because you've been cheated on before." I held firm. "I don't like it, and I hope you take my feelings here seriously." Early next morning, she picked up her phone and was typing away. I'm pretending to keep my eyes closed in sleep, but I could see she was texting this guy, saying how we had a fight and she felt stressed, worthless, scared. Meanwhile, the guy fed her positive affirmations about how special she was and how he liked her. My stomach kept sinking the more I caught out of the corner of my half-closed eye, until I had enough. I said good morning, and she rolled over on her side to face the phone away and started talking about how she was texting her coworkers. I gave her a weird look and she said, "My back hurts. You think I'm trying to hide something because I want to roll over to where my back was comfortable?" "You were texting his name." "No, I wasn't. I just told you who I was texting. You're targeting me again." My eyes widened. I sat up and cast a 1,000-mile stare through the wall ahead of me. "Why would you lie about that? I was watching you text him." She had a small mental breakdown and began begging with me. "I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again. I feel like you were targeting me with him. He's just a friend, and I don't want you to think anything else." Still, we made up and went back to the convention, where she again made a beeline for this guy and wandered around buying him things. At the end of the day, I told her I was going back to the hotel room, and she said she was going to go out with the guy for drinks, and I was welcome to come along, and that she might stay at his hotel room. I said, "Nah, I'm good. Goodbye." That goodbye was the last time I saw her. I went and packed my stuff and drove back home several hours away. At 5 a.m. in the morning, she realized I had left and called me freaking out that I abandoned her. I told her to enjoy the rest of her trip, but there was nothing else in it for me, and that all her stuff was still in the room her ex-boyfriend, me, had paid for. I also told her if she critically needed a ride home, I'd pick her up, not as her boyfriend, but only out of necessity. Her new friend would likely be able to drive her anyway. Here she bashed me for abandoning my girlfriend with no place to go. I listened to a lot of crying and begging, but held firm. I've seen this story play out several times before. I no longer cared. It's hard to describe how I feel now. It's very hard to trust people without expecting hidden motives or something beyond my vision happening that would hurt me. I feel like I was right in finally putting my foot down, and every close friend I talked to about this told me I did the right thing and shouldn't have put up with that activity. But still, sometimes I have nagging questions about if I overreacted, or if I was too sensitive. Like, if there's some way I could have done better. If I was the a-hole somehow, let me know, right? I like reading these stories because seeing what other people have gone through gives me clarity during the times I was recovering after being cheated on. Hopefully the story can do the same for someone. Now for a couple of community comments. First one, she didn't notice you left till 5 a.m.? 100% did the right thing. She's a walking red flag. Someone else chimes in, and most importantly, she said she might stay at another guy's hotel room, even when she's here with her boyfriend. Red flag. One more person says this, 5 a.m. tells you everything you need to know. He's just a friend, you're controlling, don't you trust me? A woman's past should never matter. Every cheater ever. You are not the a-hole here at all, OP. If anything, you stayed far longer than you should have. Let's be honest. She went to the convention with him, and you were just an extra in her little play. I mean, she asked you if she should feel bad about him flirting with her and getting her tickets to this convention, and she knowingly didn't tell him she had a boyfriend? You created the boundaries, and you told her how you were feeling, and yet she still went forward with her actions. That's no way to treat someone you're supposed to be with. Somebody who truly wants to be with you will be willing to yell your name from the rooftops. Moreover, why the heck would you want to befriend the guy who's trying to snag your girlfriend? Update. I've been busy the last few days because of the holidays, but I've made sure to read every reply to my original story. Thank you all so much for your feedback and comments. Original post here. A few things I think I should clarify. This happened a few months ago. That whole event was so weird that it's definitely stuck with me a while, and I felt like I needed to share it. I'm still processing parts of it, but writing it down and seeing everyone's replies has helped. I'll share more details now because I've been asked to update. After my ex found out I had left, she stopped messaging me and calling for a few days while she stayed with the new guy to finish off the convention we had gone to. When she reached out later, she said she begged all of her friends to give her money for an Uber and paid Uber to drive her maybe 2 hours to get her car. I don't even know if I buy that story after everything else, but it's what she claimed. Some friends, some hers, some mine, messaged me to ask what was going on between us, and I went, look, here's the story. Ask any questions you want, and you tell me if I'm crazy here, or if what she did was ridiculously out of line. 6 out of 6 were shocked and immensely disappointed in her. After she got back home, several days later mind, she begged me to talk to her and explain what happened and what was wrong. I told her, I don't trust you. You show me you can't be trusted in an area that I'm particularly sensitive to with past trauma. This isn't a chance for you or a plea for you to do better. I don't want to be close with anyone who thinks it's okay to treat their partner that way. She still said she would try her hardest to woo me back, and I cringed and said goodbye. Her next action was asking me if I could return or send back her stuff. What stuff? Apparently the birthday gifts she had given me, she wanted back. I briefly considered how they were the only birthday gifts I had been given by anyone this year. Exhaled air through my nose and said I'd send them back through FedEx. I hate FedEx. I sent something to someone I had a very, very low opinion of, and I chose FedEx. Side note, she offered to meet me somewhere to pick up her stuff. My birthday presents? Because she said she was visiting nearby with someone, and she deliberately made it vague to see if I'd ask who it was. I didn't ask and didn't care. You might wonder why I entertained her at this point. She knew where I lived and was absolutely capable of showing up to make a point if she wanted something from me. She was trash to me now, so for my own safety and privacy, it made sense to bore her and send her anything she might have an excuse to try to come and argue over. I didn't need a scene or long arguments anymore. Finally, she texted me and wished me Merry Christmas, and later made some joke trying to prod me to respond. I ignored both. Let me just tell you, I hate cheaters. I've had people say, wow, you have really bad luck. But it makes me wonder if the majority of people are like this deep down. My faith and trust in other people was already pretty bad, but it's been abysmal this season. To the people messaging me asking to share cheating stories and if I'd sleep with their partner because you have a thing for being cheated on, bless your little hearts. I get the feeling you don't quite understand how I feel about cheating. To everyone else, again, thank you for your words, kind and tough, honest feelings and affirmations. The OP added some more. Another crazy detail came back to me. She firmly denied anything happened between them, but I didn't feel it needed to be confirmed or denied. Her actions that I saw and experienced firsthand were the main problem. I don't really know or care about her personal life now, but the last time she tried to strike up a conversation, she kept bringing him up. Apparently, he has a girlfriend, therefore by her reasoning, she couldn't have cheated on me with him. I was like, dude, really? Can you not read the room? Why do you keep bringing this guy up? Sounds like she's the one with a sick fetish for cheating on people and having them pine over her. She asks the questions and gives you the bait because she craves the attention. You're right not to believe a word she says. She obviously stayed with him at the convention and stayed an extra few days with him. And the same person probably drove her to the 2 hours to her car as well. I'm sorry you're 2 for 2 with cheating partners, OP. It definitely doesn't help the whole trust issue. There are more than just these 2 people out there, OP. There's going to be someone out there who proves you wrong and who will say your name loud and proud from the world to hear. Do you have a similar story? Do you believe there's someone out there for everyone? Or do you believe that everyone out there is a bit like OP's ex-girlfriend? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Next up, a queen bee who loses her crown. My 24 female best friend, 24 female, is too handsy with my boyfriend, 26 male, and I think it's inappropriate. I know I should be careful calling someone best friend in a post like this, but I don't know how else to call Jessie. Our parents are great friends, so we grew up together, and she kind of had my back in high school. Long story short, on the teenager food chain, she was on top and I should be on the bottom. But nobody messed with me because I was Jessie's friend. Jessie is one of those people who require attention. I never minded though. Nobody's perfect, right? But now that I have my first real boyfriend, she doesn't know how to behave. Every time we are together, she is really handsy. Always touching his arms, running fingers through her hair, complimenting him. And now she even started with the prank spankings on the butt, you know? I just feel really uncomfortable with it. Maybe it's normal. I mean, Jessie has a lot of guy friends, so maybe this is okay? My boyfriend never thought much of it either. Am I just overreacting? She's super pretty, so maybe I'm just jealous. Anyway, yesterday something really threw me off. Boyfriend had to do some work, and I had a book thing, hobby, so we decided to meet later at a friend's house. They were getting together to drink and so on. Boyfriend finishes work early and calls me, but I don't really need him to come over to the book thing. I know he doesn't like it, so I just tell him to go to the friend's house. Then I start getting texts from Jessie all like, "Girl, you gotta come to this party now. Your boyfriend is wasted, huh? We so drunk, you need to come and stop us. I can't behave myself if you don't get here soon." And so on. The book thing took longer than I thought, and I was just getting mad and madder. But I am a very non-confrontational person, so I deal with it. I call boyfriend when it's over because I don't feel like going to this party anymore, but I was his ride, so I ask him if he needs me to come pick him up. He says sure. I get there and don't even go inside. I'm ready to release the hounds of hell on him, but he gets in my car and he is stone cold sober. I ask him if he was drinking and then show him Jessie's texts. He gets super upset and says she was lying. He wasn't even hanging directly with her, but catching up with a friend who just came back to town. He says I should have texted him letting him know what she was saying so he could confront her about it. Since you don't ever seem to be able to give that girl some boundaries, his words. Now I'm thinking maybe I should talk to Jessie, but maybe she was just drunk and annoying me because she wanted me there. I don't know. I mean, this girl was really nice to me growing up when she could have been a witch. I don't like how she behaves around him, but at the same time, I don't want it to look like I don't trust her. Is there a polite way of going about it? Or should I maybe wait and see if this happens again? Am I overreacting? Update. Thanks to everyone for your comments and help. I decided to talk to Jessie and posted a development to the story. It seems like Jessie's the type of friend that needs friends who believe themselves to be lower than them in order to feel better about themselves. And might I add, you shouldn't compare yourself to Jessie. 1, because it doesn't seem like Jessie respects herself all that much and needs attention in order to feed that ego of hers. And 2, you seem like you're miles ahead of Jessie in every which way. Jessie gets a kick out of making you feel like she's putting you in whatever place she believes you to be. And this makes her feel better about herself. She's not your friend, OP, and you should consider if she ever really was. Friends lift each other up. Friends are happy for each other's successes and dreams and goals. Update. So my 24 female best friend, 24 female, says I owe her everything I have, including my boyfriend. Yesterday I posted here about how my best friend, Jessie, is a bit handsy with my boyfriend and it makes me feel uncomfortable. TLDR is she touches him a lot and sent me inappropriate messages when she was at a party with him. I'm very thankful to all those who commented, especially the ones who encouraged me to say something and what. I don't like arguments, so those were very important to me. Thank you. Last night we were alone because she wanted me to help her choose clothes for an event. I was at her place, so I thought I should say something. I wanted to say something. I was very polite and just said that I knew she meant no harm, but I didn't feel good about it. So I asked her if she could tone it down. I should have said stop, but I guess I'm weak. She didn't really say anything mean, but her attitude was a bit off, I think. She was looking at me in a scornful kind of way, and the way she smiled once I was done talking, it just felt weird. She didn't say anything else but, okay, and we just moved on to choosing her clothes, and I left after. We were supposed to go get something to eat, but she said she was tired. I'm not dumb. She was hurt. So I texted a common friend, more her friend than mine, and without getting into details, I just told him that I talked to Jess about something that was important to me, but that I was afraid she may have gotten the wrong idea from it. The common friend said, look, I don't want to get involved, but you should watch it. I asked what he meant. He said, nothing, just watch it. A little while after, he texts me back and says, changed my mind, I do want to get involved, and sends me a bunch of prints of texts going back and forth between him and Jessie. It basically starts with him asking her if the two of us had a fight, because I was worried. He was kind with his words. I don't mind him stepping in. And then just a non-stop stream of her being horrible. She says I had a big mouth and was judging her behavior because I'm a prude who doesn't know how to be around guys. How she taught me everything I know about having a life, and how dare I tell her what she can or cannot do, or how I should thank her for even having a boyfriend at all. Common friend actually called her out for being rude and no friend of mine. After the prints, he told me, I'm done with her, I give up, and you should watch it. He also said it was okay if I told her I had the prints. I didn't though. Didn't know what to say. I mean, she's not 100% wrong. But even though I know that, it really hurts to read those. This morning, I wake up and see she texted me late at night. She says she knows Pete sent me the prints, and she didn't mean to be rude, but it's ridiculous that I'm jealous of her because if she wanted my boyfriend, she could just have him. You want me to prove it? So I'm being silly and should drop it, is what she meant. She ends it with kisses and a joke. So I don't know if she was being playful, apologizing, threatening, or being pragmatical. I didn't answer her yet. I don't know what to say. Should I even say something? Or should I just let it go? I wish I could talk to someone about this, but I'm very private. I usually go to Jessie with these things. Help? TLDR, asked an old friend to stop being so handsy with my boyfriend. She took it the wrong way and told a common friend I got no business telling her what to do since I owe her so much. And here are some notable comments. One commenter says, sounds like this person is completely wrapped up in their own head and have a serious case of overthinking their importance in life, especially others' lives. Obviously, we're all going to tell you to drop her because she's not a desirable person to be around if that's how she acts, talks to you in person and behind your back. This person thinks they own you enough so that they're decided to let you have your boyfriend? F that crap. Also, show your guy everything that's happened because guaranteed she's going to go after him. The OP replies, I suppose you're all right. It just gets me, you know? It's a 20-year-long friendship. I keep thinking maybe this is a misunderstanding. She didn't mean it, or she's going through a hard time and doesn't know how to deal with it. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not overreacting, so I needed some outside perspective. As for my boyfriend, I think he would turn her down quite fast. He doesn't really like her. He just hangs with her because of me. He's always saying that he'd rather not and all, so it's unlikely that they'd be alone together. But I will talk to him. Thank you for the heads up. Turns out, she already went after him. I was stupid. Yeah, you have to drop her like a bad hot potato. She doesn't care about you at all. In fact, you're just a means to an end. In her world, you exist to prove a point. As far as she's concerned, you revolve around her. And the comments make a great point. She does think she owns you, but you don't owe her anything. Her thought process is frankly disgusting. Update. My boyfriend is having sex with her. A friend convinced some other friends to send me prints of texts between themselves and either my boyfriend or best friend. They are pretty clear. I confronted my boyfriend. He looked lost, said he loves me and it was just sex. He says Jessie kept throwing herself at him, teasing him, and he said he didn't like her, but I still wanted to hang. He said he just had sex with her to see if she would move on and leave him alone, and that it only happened a couple of times. Says he won't do it anymore. He doesn't even like her. He loves me, asking me to please forgive him. From the texts, once I finally made it through them all, I think that Jessie went to the party where me and my boyfriend met because she wanted to hook up with him. She had it bad for him, but he didn't feel the same way. She was trying to get him to break up with me and then to get me to break up with him. It worked. As of yesterday, he is a single man. In some of those texts, they're talking about some of the hookups. I feel like throwing up. I blocked him because he was still trying to get in touch. I ghosted her, but she just sent me a message saying she just heard what happened and, you know this was probably for the best, right? And I feel like effing screaming. I don't know if this is an update or just me venting. Thanks for listening either way. Edit. I don't want to sound melodramatic or sappy or anything, but you all brought me to tears. We keep hearing how it is insanity to rely on the internet for personal connections, but I just lost a boyfriend, a best friend, and a whole group of friends. And instead of feeling alone, I am more and more feeling like, yeah, that was the right thing to do. I'll be okay. It still hurts, but not as much as it would have I had really been alone. I can't even begin to thank this sub. I really don't know what to say. Even on my previous posts that didn't get as many responses, it was some of the comments there that made me approach the cheating thing knowing I had to break up and move on. So it changed my life in this moment. And considering I will be doing a lot of soul searching on toxic relationships, this probably changed my life for good. So thank you all so much for reaching out to a stranger. This community is so precious. And I got a gold. I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but I don't even know how much a gold costs. And this is an alt account, so it won't really be used. Is there any way I can return it to the sender? Some of you are asking for an update. I might in a little while if there's something new to tell. Right now, it's just more of the same. I don't think I will be able to answer all the comments, but I am trying to at least answer the ones with questions. Thank you. Here are some of those notable comments. Comment 1. Well, yeah, I would just ditch the whole friend group and start trying to find new friends. My God, that's some effed up crap. The OP replies, yep, done and done. I think I'm being too permissive with the word friend. It was going on for months. Everyone knew. Nobody had the decency to tell me. It was only the one friend who wasn't even that close who stood up for me. Another commenter says, you also can't make her hurt. She has no respect for you and clearly doesn't care. So it will be impossible anyways. It would have the same effect as a drunk stranger telling you that you're awful. It might make you angry, but you didn't care about the stranger, so what they say is irrelevant. Also, I can't imagine anything so utterly not worth your time. The delightful side effect of just ghosting is that they will stew in it. They want the reaction, but they get none. They realize they lost all their power and never get to know and feel that satisfaction that comes from getting the reaction you wanted. The OP replies, oh, I get what you mean. She is still texting me. I didn't mention one detail because it wasn't important. We were all traveling together soon. My family paid for some of Jessie's expenses. She is messaging me about the vouchers, since I have them all. This effing woman can't even wait a day to ask. It's like she suddenly remembered she still needs me. I mean, I'm not giving them to her either way. Trip is off. Can't she tell? She has no respect for you and clearly doesn't care. Absolute truth. Commenter 3 says, she would be more hurt by no response at all. To anything, ever. OP, go no contact. The OP replies, I'm very much thinking the silent treatment will be the way to go. I think she just realized she needs me for the trip. She's been aggressively trying to contact me. Now she is saying that she liked my boyfriend first, and I was the one who stole him, so she is the one who should be mad. I know I should just block her everywhere, but is it petty that I'm having fun watching her squirm? I wanted to have the last word, but not saying anything is driving her crazy. Another commenter says, he said he just had sex with her to see if she would move on and leave him alone, and that it only happened a couple of times. Says he won't do it anymore. He doesn't even like her. He loves me, asking me to please forgive him. What? Seriously, that is one of the stupidest things I have heard. It's like saying, hey babe, I jumped off a cliff because somebody was really pestering me to do it. Edit. I feel for you, OP, but what an excuse. The OP replies, I confess I almost fell for it. How pathetic is that? He was saying he cared about me. It was just a mistake. He thought she would back off. And I felt it was a bad decision on his part, but maybe it made sense and I could forgive him? Then he said something like, and I didn't even like her. You were the one who always wanted us to hang. That's when my brain joined the party and I was like, is he seriously trying to blame this crap on me? Here's some other comments made by the OP. Most disgusting part is that it is a trip we would take together with my boyfriend and some other friends. So she really thinks I would let my family pay for her to go on vacation with my ex who she cheated on me with? I'm starting to think this woman is sick. Like for real. I just went straight to venting, didn't I? Sorry. Well, it was all Pete, really. After she texted she could get my boyfriend if she wanted to, I just answered back, what the F, Jessie? And she LOL'd as if it was a joke. After that, Pete texted me, asked me if I was alone. He was really kind and told me everything. Said he had proof and asked if I wanted to see it. I said yes. He had gone after our friends and convinced them to send him prints. He's really well liked by everyone, and he was the one who said enough. Pete is gay, by the way. just in case anyone jumps the gun like my mom did and think he did this because he's interested in me or something. He's not. He's just a decent person. No, I didn't get Prince between boyfriend and Jesse. I guess I went straight to venting and didn't give much details. Wasn't expecting this response. There was this friend Pete who convinced 3 other friends to send him texts between them, 3 friends, and either Jesse or boyfriend, so he could have proof, because he thought what was happening was disrespectful and someone should tell me. There were prints of texts between 2 friends and Jesse, and 1 other friend and boyfriend. They were pretty clear. Jesse especially didn't seem to care about hiding it at all. Boyfriend texts were mostly wondering if I had noticed something and wanting Jesse to back off, while saying she was hot, etc. There was nothing 100% confirmation on his side. It wasn't a talk between him and one of his closest friends, so it was kind of generic. But when I confronted him, I said I had prints, without saying what they showed, and he just confessed. I really appreciated the prints. It was ultimate evidence. But I don't think they did it for me. It's a Pete thing. You'd have to know him to understand. He's the stand-up guy who is everyone's friend. He is a huge people person. I think they sent the prints because it was something for him. He was the one leading the charge and dealing with consequences. If it were just me, I don't think they would have done it. Both of these people are hella toxic. I mean, the whole friend group is. Honestly, it's not surprising that your boyfriend chose to hook up with Jesse. Everything that came out of his mouth when you confronted him about it was just BS. Yeah, I did it, but I love you. What? What does it even mean? I'm glad you dumped him. And then there's Jessie acting like she did you the favor. I mean, I guess in a way she did. She just lit up the dumpster fire. Final update. I said I'd come back if anything relevant happened. Ex-boyfriend kept trying to get in touch through common friends. They kept asking me to unblock him and at least hear him out because he was really sorry, he loved me, he was a mess, he didn't mean to. Someone even went as far as to ask me if I was really sure it happened. They offered to send me prints of texts where he was talking about me so I'd see how he always had great things to say and how much he cared. But I've had it with the print screen drama for life and said no. To the ones who insisted I told them I wasn't unblocking him, I had nothing to say or hear, and if they kept pushing me, I'd block them too. I ran into ex-boyfriend at this book thing I go to often, hobby of mine. Maybe I'm being presumptuous, but I think he went there for me. He didn't really have any business there, but I'm just speculating really. He asked if I had a few minutes for coffee. I said I was late. Lie. He walked me to my car. He looked so good, smelled great. He was so sweet. Was even wearing his hair the way I like it. I felt horrible because even after everything, I still like him. He apologized some more, said he knew I needed time and space, but asked if I'd consider giving him another chance because he would wait for me. Said he would never talk to Jesse again and would act like they had restraining orders against each other. And I just found it really funny how everything he was saying required me trusting him, which I didn't. So I told him I wasn't interested anymore and he should move on. I wish I'd said something snappier or wittier, but I had nothing. This was Saturday. I haven't heard from him or friends since. I think that was that. Jesse also kept trying to talk to me. Like I told some of you on comments, I had a trip coming up. It would have been me, Jesse, ex-boyfriend, and a few friends. Since Jesse couldn't afford it, my parents paid for most of her expenses. She must have remembered this right after everything went down and panicked because I had everything. Vouchers, confirmation emails, credit card info. She went crazy. Even showed up at my place. I wasn't home and my roommate told her to F off. Exact words. I didn't block her at first because I admit I was having some fun watching her despair. I talked to my mom and she was amazing. Told me I should cancel everything even if it costed us money. It was fine. So I did. And for one last bit of print screen drama, I printed all the emails I got confirming cancellations and sent those to Jessie with the word bye before blocking her. My roommate has been amazing. We were never really close and now I don't even know why. She canceled plans with her friends to stay with me and invited me to go out with them next weekend. A few of you suggested I see a therapist and I did yesterday. I really liked it. It was just one appointment and I mostly just talked, but it felt good. She gave me homework. She talked a little bit about unhealthy and abusive relationships and asked me to think about my friendship with Jesse and try to point what was healthy and what was unhealthy about it. Made me realize she was never really my friend. She was taking advantage of me for years and she even had me thanking her for it. Therapist also told me about this saying, I think that's what it's called, the narcissist's prayer, which goes something like, That didn't happen. If it did, it wasn't my fault. If it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, then you deserved it. Which is totally how Jesse is handling this whole thing now. So good riddance indeed. And a final piece of gossip. Pete talked to me yesterday. He is checking up sometimes. He's a good guy. Again, he is gay, in case someone is still thinking this might turn into a romantic comedy. He said Jesse was super sure that since I broke things off, she and Dean would hook up right away. But apparently he doesn't have the same plans, and that freaked her out over the weekend. Pete says he really is a mess and went out drinking hard 4 nights in a row to the point he had to be carried home by his pals. And yesterday, they all went out for lunch at this burger place. Jessie was going to run her fingers through his hair or something, and he just pushed her away and told her to stop and to never touch him again. Great that now he manages to do that, huh? I guess in the end, he really did like me in his sick way. The thing is, I don't want to be with someone who likes me in a sick way. I want to be with someone who likes me in a healthy way. I think I deserve that. I'm also thinking about taking the money I got back from the trip to go somewhere else by myself. Haven't decided though. Anyway, this will be the final update on this, since it is unlikely that I will have anything new to add. Now, I think I just need time to heal and let go, you know? I might come back in a few months if there's a reason to do yay, life is awesome now post. But I wanted to post this update now because I wanted to end this whole story on a bright note. And, of course, thank you all again. You are the best. Funny how people have power over you only when you let them, and that's exactly what they feed off of. Once that's gone, they have nothing on you. You took your power back and you should be proud of yourself for it. I don't want to say that you needed to go through this, but I think things like this can really help people see their value and understand how they should be treated. You aren't below anybody, and you aren't some average Jane. Take your rightful place on the throne that you belong, OP. What would you have done if you were OP? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you next time.